Well, good morning and welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have two fabulous people who are here to talk about a lovely service that they provide, and that is the volunteer income tax assistance. So please join me in welcoming back Wendy Morris. You are the Community Engagement Coordinator for Associated Ministries, actually, I'm going to say, because one of my favorite organizations here in Tacoma. Welcome back, Miss Wendy. I have such loving and beautiful memories of our time at Tallships together. Every time I see you on Facebook or every time I see you, I can't help but just feel this inner giggle start to come up of some of the fun things that we did together that summer. So, miss you, babe. This very wonderful person that you have brought with you, Miss Heather Little. You are the Volunteer Program Coordinator. Welcome, Miss Heather.
Hi.
Good to have you here. And you brought with you the book.
I
can tell. Because every volunteer coordinator, especially for income tax assistance, needs to have a serious book that looks like that. Truly. So let's first, Wendy, let's go back and talk about, can you explain the volunteer income tax assistance program to us and why, in addition to Associated Ministries, it's Goodwill and Sound Outreach are partnering on this program?
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
So Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or as we refer to it, VITA,
yes,
is a program through the IRS, so our lovely Internal Revenue Service, and it trains volunteers to do taxes for people who are $56,000 or less. So we have sites throughout Pierce County. And one of the great things and why we partner with Sound Outreach and Goodwill is because it's a smart thing to do. We're all doing the same program, so why not work together?
Absolutely.
And recruit volunteers together, share volunteers, and it's a wonderful partnership. If we're short a volunteer at a site, I can call Heather, I can call Norman at Goodwill and say, do you have somebody who might have availability? And it's a great opportunity to show the community we're not in competition.
Yeah.
We're all trying to help people.
That's right. It's collaboration.
Absolutely.
I always say collaboration, not competition, because we want to get the duplicity out of services for people who are in need of this. So, Heather, this may seem like just a real obvious question, but I do think it needs to be asked. Why is this an important program for the community? Because there's lots of programs out there.
So this program is keeping money in our community pocket, and it's providing them with this peace of mind, this accurate tax preparation service. So just this year, our 3 agencies combined were able to help over 2,635 Pierce County residents with tax returns. So that's awesome. And the average tax return cost is $176, according to the National Society of Accountants. So that's a savings of almost $500,000 that these taxpayers would have had to pay out for tax preparation services. And they're getting to keep 100% of their refund rather than part of their refund. And VITA is an income-based program. So generally the taxpayers that we serve are under $56,000. They're low income, and so those refunds might be their rent, their utilities, groceries, prescriptions, getting out of debt, that once a year bill that you pay because you have to wait for your tax return refund. So as much money as we can keep in their pockets, that's going to be better for us as a community. And we're providing them that peace of mind, that accurate service, volunteers that are going to take their time to answer their questions.
What a beautiful answer that was. That was just, I mean, because you painted this picture from every group that would benefit from that, and most of all, those families that are underserved or individuals, that $5 is a lot of money. And 176 is even more. So well done. So let's talk about, Wendy, who are the volunteers that help with this program? And we've got some pictures we're going to show.
So we have volunteers from all walks of life and all ages.
Oh.
So we have had people volunteering who are as young as 12, being a greeter at a site, and this young lady's mother was preparing taxes. So she was working as a volunteer, and her daughter said, "How can I help?" And she took a quick test and was able to help organize people as they came in, check that they had all of the documents they needed. So anybody can volunteer. It's not about accounting students, though we have a lot of accounting students who will volunteer, retirees, business people, and anybody who likes numbers, likes people, and wants to give back to their community. That's who our volunteers are, and we're so grateful for all of them.
Yes, I mean, you're probably one, if not a couple of those three that you put in there. So Heather, what type of training do the volunteers receive?
The cool thing about VITA is you really don't have to have any experience whatsoever. You don't even need to be good at math. The tax preparation software, that's going to do the math for you.
Okay.
I am terrible at math, and I run this program. That software does it for me. So thank God for that. You know, doing it longhand, I don't know how tax preparers did that back in the day. But we provide all sorts of training. We cater to all learning types. So we have online training that's going to be available very soon. We do classroom training. We have day training classes as well as subject-specific classes. So if somebody does online training, classroom training, combination of both, and they need a little extra support in one area, they can come to that subject-specific classes. So we have orientations for new volunteers to just know more about what it is to volunteer for VITA. We have specialty trainings like the greeting training, site coordinator training. So even when you go to a site, your site is most likely 100% ran by volunteers. Even the person in charge is a volunteer. And the site volunteers are so encouraging and supportive of one another that any volunteers that come to us, we're going to find a role for you. We're going to find a fitting place for you somewhere. And then we have fabulous resources as well. This is probably our most beloved and used resource book because it's got these awesome tabs in it, really easy to find information. So volunteers are going to be provided with a lot of training resources, a lot of physical resources, and a lot of support and encouragement, not just from us as staff, but from other volunteers. We have volunteers that have been doing it for years. And we love them. They're great.
So Heather, as you think about how taxes have moved and been redefined, even from year to year, what new things will people need to know for filing?
Well, there's a lot of changes every single year. Just this year, the changes are bigger. They're more noticeable. They're things that people are really going to, You know, I think the biggest change is probably our new Form 1040. It's very different. Now there's just one Form 1040 versus before we had the 1040A, the long Form 1040, the 1040EZ.
Yes.
Yeah, so now we just have the one. It's very, very different. The child tax credit is another big one that's doubled. Exemption amounts have gone away. The standard deduction for your filing status has just about doubled. And so especially with the taxpayers that we serve under 56,000, a lot of the people that may have itemized before aren't going to be itemizing this year because that standard deduction is going to be bigger than those itemizable expenses.
Hence, it's great to have volunteers that are good with people because that could be upsetting news to get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. So what do they need to bring to take advantage of this free tax assistance?
Well, you know, fraud is crazy out there, and the IRS takes it really, really very seriously. And so every VITA site that you would go to, Pierce County, King County, Oregon, anywhere in America, they're always going to require to see picture ID for those primary taxpayers. And then for the whole household, they're going to want to see verification of that social security number or that I-10 number. And those are probably the two most important. A lot of people will maybe bring us in a W-2 or a past year's 1040 as their proof of their social security number or their I-10. That wouldn't work for us because you can go online, you can download a 1040, you can put any social you want there. So we want verifiable information, that card or that copy of it. And then the things that pertain to you. If you worked during the year, those W-2s. If you had retirement, those pension statements. If you paid child care costs, those child care costs. If you want direct deposit, that direct deposit information. But those first two, those are the most important. We want to make sure that the person that we are serving is actually
that person.
That person,
right.
yes.
And knowing you, Heather, as I can just observe in these past few minutes, you're so organized that there's probably a checklist online that
Fake it till you make it, girl.
There we go. There we go. So I'm sure there's more information online. So
there is.
Last question, Wendy. If people cannot make it to one of the tax sites, what if they can't? What are their options?
They can go online to freetaxhelp.org.
Look at the manual.
Yeah. We have to look at the manual and double check. But you can go online and it will walk you through doing your taxes online as well. And again, there is an income limit of around $64,000.
Okay.
So if you make more than that, it'll kick you out of the system.
That's all right.
But there is a way to do it. But with the sites, we have sites throughout Pierce County and combined with all of our agencies. So upwards of about 14 to 15 sites that people can go to. They're open various days, various times.
Okay.
And as we get closer to tax season, 211 will have a list. And you can also go to volunteertaxhelp.org.
Wonderful.
And have the information there as well.
Right.
But also to volunteer, that's where you go.
There we go. Thank you both so much for being here today and providing such superior information. Taxes are important, and the fact that this is a free service to those who qualify is outstanding. So thank you so much for what you've given us here today. All right. When we come back, in the seat will be Jean, and she is the founder of the Assistance Dog Club of Puget Sound. She's here to talk about that program. We'll be right back.